Today I wanted to do one of my story time in the forest videos where basically I talk about anything that comes to my mind. I don't know if video is going to be beneficial to anyone. This is more just me having some talk therapy moment to talk about something that happened to me when I was in high school. This has more to do about not fitting in, getting picked on, and it really has to do with when there was a class trip or a school trip. This is when I was going to high school in Arizona, and we were going to take a trip to California. Part of the reason we were going to California is we were going to tour a college campus, and then we were going to go to a Six Flags amusement park. Sounds like fun. I don't know how they chose the kids that got to go on the trip, but it was random kids from our school as well as other kids from different schools in our district. So it wasn't like I was going to get to hang out with all my friends on the trip. It was more like I was going to be intermixed in with a bunch of other people that I didn't really know very well. And I quickly learned that there were a lot of people who I guess didn't want to share a hotel room with me. We just got assigned what room we were going to be in, and very quickly there were certain people that were maybe considered more of the popular crowd, cheerleaders, things like I didn't fit in with that crowd, and they did not want me in the same hotel room. I was excited to go on this trip, mainly to tour the college campus. I wasn't sure if that was the college I was going to go to, but just in general to be in high school and get to see what a college campus is like. And then, of course, going to Six Flags. I knew it was going to be lots of roller coasters. I don't really like riding roller coasters, but it was like a trip. It was something fun. Now, there was one girl that I was kind of friends with, so I thought I would just hang out with her during the trip, and more on that later. But one of the first things that happened is we all got assigned rooms, and I guess these girls didn't want me in their room, and they went to the teacher and had complained about me. And of course they had to come up with something to have a reason why they didn't want me in the room. And so very embarrassingly they said that I had used the bathroom and I had stunk up the bathroom, which I never did. That was completely made up. But of course, at that point in time, they started spreading rumors about me. So now I was the poo girl. So, like I said, this is definitely about being picked on and not fitting in when you're young. And I don't know why I got targeted and singled out, but it happens. And so the teacher was saying that if I didn't stay in their room, I could stay in the teacher's room. And there is no way in the world I want to stay in the teacher's room. That's even more embarrassing. You could be the poo girl or you could be the one who slept in the same room as the teacher. So I was kind of freaking out because I'm in a completely different state. I'm away from my family. And now I'm like, where am I going to spend the night? What they ended up doing is putting me in my own hotel room, which was great. I had my own room all to myself. So whatever plan to bully me backfired because they didn't get their own room. But they probably didn't care. They probably enjoyed having like a big slumber party in a hotel room. But I, of course, was all alone. So then when we actually went on the trip to the Six Flags, like I said, I really didn't want to ride any of the rides. There was a kid that was from another school who I'd never met before, and he came over and sat down with me on a bench, and he said that he was also afraid to ride the roller coaster rides, and so he said he would just hang out with me all day, and that was really cool. And I was probably, I don't know, 15, 16 years old. I don't know if I was interested in him in a way of dating him because I was still pretty young, so I just thought this is just some guy being nice to me. And I remember we took all these photos on the trip, and I was all excited to get home and develop my photos because back then you had cameras and you had to go develop film. We didn't have digital cameras then. And all in all, it turned out to be an all right trip because I made a new friend. We exchanged phone numbers, even though we went to different schools, and we were eventually going to hang out when we got back to Arizona. One thing I remember is when we were going to be getting on the plane, and you had to put all your stuff through the security where they check all your stuff. I remember saying I didn't know if I should put my film through the x-ray machine because I thought it would ruin my film. And they're like, oh no, it won't ruin your film, just put it through. And I was really reluctant to do that because I was like, no, can you just check it by hand? Do I have to put it through the x-ray machine? And I don't know, also I was a kid, so I just do whatever the adults tell me to do. put the camera through the machine, and it indeed ruined my film, because later when I tried to get that film developed, none of the pictures turned out. None of the pictures from any of my trip in California, the new guy I met, the new friend I made, all the stuff we did at the college, all those photos gone. So that was somewhat upsetting. Also, like I said, I had exchanged numbers with this new person I met, and apparently that was a fake number. Apparently that guy wanted nothing to do with the poo girl either. So basically, that guy never called me. I never got a hold of him. And I don't even have a photograph of him. I don't even know what he looked like. So that was just like a memory lost to time. What I thought was a good trip or a good experience. Hey, that's how it goes. And when I mentioned that there was a girl on the trip that I actually knew, was friends with, and everything, and I was all excited, maybe I'd get to hang out with her on the trip. So she actually met a guy at the Six Flags that we all went to, and she left. She left the school trip. She took off with this guy that she met in California and left. He was about the same age as her, so this wasn't like a kidnapping situation or anything. But I remember it being a really big deal. Actually, that whole thing was a really big deal because obviously when you have a bunch of teenagers, you drop them off at an amusement park with no adult supervision whatsoever, things are going to happen. And so she met some guy, took off with him, left the trip, and that was a whole thing. My teen years weren't the greatest, but I'm sure we could talk about that in a later video. Just thought I would talk about some random topic. Here I am out in the forest, story time, entertaining you. Like I said, I don't think that this would have been very helpful of a video to anyone watching this, but thanks for watching anyways.